Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we've got a wild ride for you as we dive into the strangest taxi customers ever encountered. Buckle up, because these stories are going to blow your mind. We're talking about those unforgettable rides that make you question reality. Those moments where you just have to laugh and say, "You gotta be kidding me." From mysterious magicians to runaway brides, these stories are the proof that truth is often stranger than fiction. So, grab your snacks, settle in, and get ready to hear some unbelievable tales from the wild world of taxi driving. You won't want to miss a single second. So, picture this. You're a taxi driver, just trying to make it through another night shift. The city lights blur past you as you navigate the familiar streets, hoping for an uneventful night. You pick up a guy in a trench coat and a fedora classic, right? It's like something straight out of an old noir film. He's got this old-timey suitcase with him, and he's humming a tune that sounds suspiciously like the theme from The Twilight Zone. You can't help but feel a shiver run down your spine. Yeah, you can already tell this is gonna be one for the books. Your curiosity is piqued, and you wonder what kind of story this night will unfold. He hops in the back, gives you an address that's way off the beaten path, and then things start to get weird. The streets become less familiar, and the air feels charged with anticipation. He asks you if you believe in magic. The question hangs in the air, almost surreal in its simplicity. Now, you're used to some interesting conversations in this business, but this is next level. You chuckle nervously, unsure of how to respond. Before you can even answer, he pulls out a deck of cards. The air in the taxi seems to thicken with mystery. Now, these aren't your average bicycle playing cards. They look like they belong in a museum. These things are practically antiques, with gold edges and strange symbols on the back. You can't help but be mesmerized by their intricate designs. He starts shuffling, and let me tell you, this guy's got skills. The cards move like liquid in his hands. It's like watching a card shark from Vegas, right there in your back seat. You glance at him through the rearview mirror, utterly captivated. He's making cards disappear, reappear, change suits right before your eyes. It's like reality is bending to his will. You're trying to focus on the road, but come on, it's a magic show in your taxi. The lines between reality and illusion blur. He even pulls a rabbit out of his hat, a real live rabbit. You can't believe your eyes. You're pretty sure you almost swerved into a ditch at that point. The rabbit hops around, adding to the surreal atmosphere. The whole way to his destination, he keeps up this incredible magic act. It's like you're in a moving theater with the city as your backdrop. It's like David Copperfield decided to take a cab instead of renting out a theater. The night feels electric, charged with the impossible. When you finally arrive, he tips you generously, with what you later find out are $100 bills, winks, and disappears into the night. Poof! Gone! Just like that. You're left there, wondering if it was all a dream, with a pocket full of cash and a story you'll never forget. The night air feels different, almost magical. That, my friends, is the magic of a truly strange taxi ride. Sometimes the most unexpected encounters leave the most lasting impressions. Okay, this next story is straight out of a romantic comedy except, with more car exhaust and less Hugh Grant. So, you're at a standstill in traffic downtown when you see her, a woman in a full-on wedding gown, tiara and all, sprinting towards your cab like it's the last helicopter out of Saigon. She's got tears streaming down her face, mascara running, the whole 9 yards. You roll down the window and she practically throws herself into the backseat shouting, "Drive! Just drive!" You've never seen someone so desperate to escape a wedding since, well, ever. Now you're a curious guy, so you can't help but ask, everything all right back there? And then she lets loose. It's a whole dramatic monologue about a cheating fiancé, a meddling mother-in-law, and a wedding cake that apparently tasted like cardboard. She's sobbing, she's laughing hysterically, she's quoting lines from Runaway Bride, it's a whole thing. You're just trying to navigate through rush hour traffic, and you've suddenly become this woman's impromptu therapist. She tells you to take her anywhere but the wedding, so you end up driving her to this little jazz club she loves. She throws back a couple of martinis, belts out a song with the band, and by the end of the night she's like a brand new woman. She thanks you for being her escape, pays you double the fare, and even leaves you her bouquet of flowers for good luck. You're pretty sure you saw a single tear roll down a groomsman's face as you drove away. But hey, the bride must go on, right? Chapter 3. Now this one's a doozy. You're cruising down a quiet street late one night when you pick up a guy who looks like he just stepped out of a Back to the Future convention. He's got the silver jumpsuit, the futuristic sunglasses, even a pair of those light-up sneakers. You're thinking, Okay, this is either a costume party or things are about to get really weird. Spoiler alert, it's the second one. He buckles up, gives you an address that doesn't even exist yet. Literally, it's a bunch of gibberish numbers and symbols and then drops the bomb. He's from the future. Yeah, you heard that right. The future. He starts rambling on about flying cars, robot butlers, and how pineapple is apparently the main ingredient in pizza now. You're not sure you believe that one. He even whips out a device that looks suspiciously like a modified toaster and claims it's a time travel communicator. He's spouting off dates and predictions like he's reading tomorrow's newspaper. You're trying to follow along, but honestly, most of it just sounds like crazy talk. But hey, who are you to judge? You've seen some weird stuff in this job. Just when you think it can't get any stranger, he asks you to step on it, claiming there's a temporal anomaly chasing them. You're pretty sure he's just messing with you, but you gotta admit, it adds a little excitement to your night. He finally tells you to let him out at this abandoned diner on the edge of town. He thanks you for the ride, throws you a cryptic warning about a future robot uprising, and then vanishes into thin air. You're left there with more questions than answers, a whole lot of skepticism, and the sneaking suspicion that maybe, just maybe, you really did meet a time traveler. Chapter 4. So you know how some people are allergic to cats or dogs? It's a pretty common thing, right? Well, this story is about a whole other level of animal encounters. Something you wouldn't believe unless you saw it yourself. You're waiting at a taxi stand when this woman approaches you, and right away, you notice something's a little different. It's not just her appearance, there's an aura about her. She's got this brightly colored parrot perched on her shoulder, squawking greetings at everyone who walks by. It's like the parrot has its own personality. You're like, okay, that's kinda cool, I guess. It's not every day you see a parrot in the city. But then she opens her bag to pay the fare, and you swear you see a snake slither back inside. You blink, thinking maybe your eyes are playing tricks on you. Yeah, a snake. In her purse. You can't believe it, you're trying to play it cool, but inside you're freaking out a little, but it gets better. Or worse, depending on how you look at it. Turns out the parrot and the snake are just the tip of the iceberg. This woman is like a walking zoo. This woman has a whole menagerie with her. It's like she's got a personal bond with each one. She's got a fluffy bunny rabbit nestled in a basket, looking as cozy as can be, a tiny chihuahua tucked under her arm, peeking out curiously, and a ferret that keeps popping out of her coat pocket like it's playing a game of hide-and-seek. It's like Noah's Ark exploded in your back seat. You can't even keep track of all the animals. You're pretty sure you even saw a goldfish bowl in there somewhere. It's surreal. The whole ride, the animals are going wild. The parrot's singing opera like it's auditioning for a talent show. The snake's trying to charm the chihuahua, which is both adorable and terrifying. The bunny keeps hopping around, exploring every nook and cranny, and the ferret, well, let's just say you're finding ferret hair in your cab for weeks. It's like glitter. It gets everywhere. The woman, she's just chatting away, completely unfazed by the chaos around her. It's like this is just another day for her. She's introducing you to all her furry, feathered, and scaly friends like they're her children. Each one has a name and a story. You're trying to focus on the road, but it's hard when you've got a parrot trying to steal your hat and a snake giving you the side eye. It's a lot to handle. When you finally reach her destination, you let out a sigh of relief. You're pretty sure you've aged a good 10 years. The stress of it all has taken its toll. You help her unload her animal entourage, making sure each one is safe and sound. And as she walks away, she turns to you and says, "They all just love car rides." You can't help but smile at her enthusiasm. You just shake your head and laugh. What a day. Some taxi rides, man, they stay with you. This one? It's unforgettable. Chapter 5. Alright, this last story is a little creepy, a little funny, and a whole lot strange. It's one of those tales that makes you question reality and wonder about the oddities of human behavior. You're driving the graveyard shift, literally, you're passing by a cemetery, when you get flagged down by a guy in pajamas. Not just any pajamas, but the kind that make you do a double take. Not just any pajamas, mind you, we're talking fuzzy bunny slippers and a robe with a coffee stain. It's like he walked straight out of a cartoon. He's got this dazed look in his eyes like he just woke up from a dream, and he gets in the back seat without saying a word. You can almost see the sleep still clinging to him. You're thinking, okay, this is either going to be really awkward or really interesting, maybe even a bit of both. Your curiosity is piqued. Turns out it's a bit of both. The silence is thick, almost tangible as you drive through the quiet city streets. He mumbles an address that sounds vaguely familiar, but you can tell he has absolutely no idea where he is or how he got there. It's like he's navigating through a fog. You try asking him some questions, like, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need me to call someone?" But he just stares at you blankly. It's like talking to a wall. He spends the entire ride humming this eerie lullaby and scratching his head like he's trying to remember something really important. The tune is haunting, almost hypnotic. You're starting to think you've picked up an amnesiac or maybe even a runaway patient from the psych ward. The whole situation feels surreal. You finally arrive at the address he gave you, and it turns out to be a bakery. Yeah, a bakery. At this hour it seems like the last place anyone would want to go, at 3 in the morning. The streets are deserted, and the city feels like it's holding its breath. He gets out, pays you with a handful of loose change he finds in his robe pocket, and stumbles into the bakery like it's the most normal thing in the world. You can't help but watch in disbelief. You're left there, watching him through the rearview mirror, as he orders a dozen donuts and a glass of milk from a very confused baker. The scene is almost comical in its absurdity. He catches your eye, gives you a sleepy wave, and then takes a big bite of a jelly donut. It's like he's in his own little world. You just shake your head, put the car in drive, and chalk it up as another bizarre night in the life of a taxi driver. Sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these strange taxi stories, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more unbelievable tales. Who knew that driving a taxi could be such an adventure, right? From magic shows in the back seat to runaway brides and time-traveling predictions, these stories prove that you never know who you're going to meet on the open road. See you next time.